In this video, we're going to take a look at a plugin for Photoshop called StarSpikes Pro 4. I was actually just kind of bored today and messing around on the internet, and I found out about this application, started using it, and I realized just how cool it is. I'm sure a lot of you have already heard of this, you probably even have it downloaded, but for those who haven't heard of it, you might want to give it a try. So if you head over to StarSpikes Pro 4 from Pro Digital Software, you'll be able to find it very easily if you Google it. Then we're going to click where it says try before you buy. That's what I've done. And you can get a free 15-day trial just by clicking this button. It will download an installer. That way you automate the entire process and you don't have to worry about doing anything yourself. Once that has been installed properly, then we can move on. But there's one thing I want to mention. This is not compatible with Macs, which is unfortunate. And it's something I'm seeing over and over again when it comes to astrophotography software. It seems like so many different applications, whether they're for image acquisition, for stacking, for post-processing, are not Mac compatible for one reason or another. So if you're on a Mac, this might be just one more reason to consider doing one of those dual boot options where you can run a Windows environment, or just buying a Windows laptop. That way you can use a lot of this different astrophotography software. And it's just kind of a shame that a lot of these are not available on Macs, so just something to keep in mind. If you have Windows though, this should work fine. Now after you've downloaded the free 15-day trial installer, installed it into Photoshop, then you can go up to your Filter, Pro Digital Software, and you should now see StarSpikes Pro 4. Again, if you did the automatic installer option and then restarted Photoshop. Before you click on this though, I would recommend you duplicate whatever layer you're currently working on. In my case, I have a raw photo that I just brought into Photoshop, so I'll just right click, duplicate layer, and we can even call this, I forget what's called, erase star spikes or whatever, we'll just call it that. And that way we can always put a layer mask on here or turn down the opacity or delete it at some point. My whole point here is that you would not want to apply this directly to your image because then it's kind of destructive editing. This gives us a lot more freedom. And if you're still kind of new to layers and layer masks, this might make more sense in a few minutes. And we are going to look at a Milky Way photo as well as a deep space image, which I have right here. This is one of my photos of the Horsehead Nebula, which is complete, but we'll see how those star spikes can really enhance the look of the photo. Let's start off with the Milky Way though. We've duplicated our layer. Then we'll go up to Filter, Pro Digital Software, StarSpikes Pro 4. And this will bring up the user interface. And this is one reason I really like this software, is it's all very easy to use. You're not worrying about levels and curves and all that crap. You just move some sliders around until the image looks good. One thing I'd recommend too is that you drag out this window so you can actually see it a bit better. And if we can get that, we should be good. So there we go, we have a nice wide field of view here. And all you really have to do is start off with the initial settings. You can even choose default settings, whatever you want to try. Now down here in the lower left, you're going to see a little progress bar. If you have an older computer, you might want to keep your eyes here because you might make some changes and they're not doing anything because the progress bar is not finished. In my case, there's nothing going on, but I just want to draw your attention down here. All you have to do now is start off maybe with the quantity slider, and you can choose either more or less stars to target with this effect. For me, I only want to target the brightest stars, which I think that looks good right about there, a quantity of 50, which is pretty much the default setting. However, you could continue to increase this. You wouldn't want to go too far though, because then it's just become kind of a mess. And you can see my progress bar is working, so we'll have to wait for that to complete. And it's probably going to be so many stars it's going to look like a nightmare, but we'll wait and see what happens. Alright, well I've been waiting for about 20-30 seconds. I'm getting tired of waiting. I'm just going to turn down the quantity. I've clearly overdone it anyway. And we'll put it back around 50 or so. Next we can go to the intensity and move that obviously brighter or darker. This is going to affect the intensity of the spikes. And right now we are on the basic option. So it's going to kind of limit our choices, which can be good in some scenarios because you can get very easily overwhelmed. If you have a little bit of experience though, or you just want to mess around with it more, you can click the advanced button. And now you can start off with the primary spikes, the secondary, the soft flare, the ring flare, etc. and really go into every little detail. But for right now, we'll stick on basic. If I think the intensity is too strong, then I'll just lower that to maybe just a little bit. The length obviously affects the length of those spikes. I wouldn't want to go necessarily that far. We're not playing Mass Effect here, so maybe right about there. And then the angle, if you want to put it offset a little bit, it's up to you. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to sit here and go through every little thing, but you get the idea. And like I said, it's a lot of fun to just come in here and start adding these nice little touches to your image. This is something I've always wanted to do. I just never found the software, or if I did, I just never got around to using it. And then after we've done that, you can affect the color saturation. You probably wouldn't want to turn it down, but maybe a little bit there. If you're happy with all these things, then you can hit the OK button at the very top of the screen. And before we do that, I want to make one other point. Down the lower left, you have your zoom. I'd recommend you zoom in to at least 200%, and then you can use the pan tool in the upper left. It looks like a little hand. Allow you to click and drag and move around. The reason I'm saying all this is because, especially if you're in the advanced tab here, you might not even be able to see what the soft flare is doing unless you're zoomed in a lot. So again, if you zoom in and then make your changes, that might be a little bit more conducive to making sure you know what's going on. And you can see there, it's much more obvious now when we're zoomed in. So I just wanted to bring your attention to that. In my case, I'll zoom back out now. I'll hit Fit in View. There we go. And then we'll hit OK at the very top right. That will apply the effect. And this is why I said you should make a new layer called StarSpikes, because now I can quickly turn on and off the eyeball for that and see if I actually like the effect. Or maybe I only want it to apply to Rho Ophiuchi over here. If I want to do that, I can add a layer mask. And if I hold down the Alt or Option key when I add this layer mask, so again, hold down the Alt or Option key, click the Add Layer Mask button, that will make the layer mask black by default. Or you could just hit Control or Command I, that will switch it from black to white. Remember, white means the effect is turned on, black means you've essentially turned off the effect of the StarSpikes. With our black layer mask, we'll choose a white paintbrush from the left, or you can just hit the B key for brush. Make sure white is your top color. If not, you can hit the X key to swap between black and white. Then we can zoom in with our white paintbrush on our black layer mask, and we can paint exactly where we want that effect to apply. And you can see it added a glow to the star as well. So you might want to include that. If you realize maybe you overdid the effect, you can always go back and redo it. But there we go. I've now applied my star glow just to the area around Rho Ophiuchi, and that'll draw our eye in that direction. That's something you might want to do. And that's the power of using layer masks, where we can really target exactly where we want it to be. In this case, just right there. Or if you want to add a few more, you can just use your white paintbrush to keep painting those in as required. Now that we've seen how it works for Milky Way photos, let's try it on a deep space image. This one I think would look great if we had those star spike patterns. Remember, we're going to right click, duplicate our background layer, then filter, Pro Digital Software, StarSpikes Pro 4. And I think this time we will mess around with the advanced options. For the quantity, by default it starts off at about 50. That should be fine there. I really only want to affect the brightest stars. Then I can increase the intensity just to make sure I know what I'm targeting. That's a good little tip for you, because if you have the intensity down too low, you might not even be able to tell what you're doing. So let's start off with the intensity to 100. Then we can adjust our quantity and really make sure we're targeting the stars that we want. Right now, I want to affect this star and this star, but not all these other ones, right? Thankfully, that's very easy to do. Start off by increasing the quantity until your selected stars have the effect that you want. Then over on the left, you should see a button that says Hide. Once you click on the Hide button, you can now click and drag out the stars that you don't want to be included. So we'll click and drag out a square like that, and we'll keep doing that until we've only got the stars selected that we'd actually like to have in the photo. This is one way to do it. You can also use a layer mask if you're more comfortable with that, but I'm really happy that they actually include this function because it will speed things up, especially for those of you who are still new to Photoshop to some extent. And within just a few minutes, we've now got the effect that we want. Only the few bright stars that I wanted to be selected have been. But now that I've got my stars, maybe I accidentally forgot a few over here. I can click on the Show button and then just draw a little tiny square over the stars I want to include again, like that. From here, you can continue on and make whatever adjustments you want. As I mentioned earlier though, I recommend when you're going through these brushes here, you put the intensity all the way up to 100. That way you can see what's being done. Otherwise, you're gonna have a very hard time telling what's actually going on. Then after you've made your adjustments and you like the way things look, maybe not like that, then you can lower the intensity to a reasonable amount. So my whole point here is that if you adjust the intensity mainly, that will at least allow you to see what's going on, and then just lower the intensity once you've gotten everything else set correctly. Same thing for the soft flare. Increase the intensity, make your adjustments, then lower the intensity. And that's the basics of using StarSpikes Pro 4. There's not much more to it than that. It's up to you to just experiment with it and see what looks good. If we're all finished, we can hit OK, and we'll now apply that to our image. At this point, you can edit the photo however you want, but I'm going to show you how to stack multiple StarSpikes layers together to really take your image to the next level. So if you want to follow along with me, we're going to turn off the eyeball actually for StarSpikes 1. That way we're looking at the original image. Then we'll right click on our background layer, duplicate this one. We'll call this StarSpikes 2, and I'll drag that on top of my layers. The reason we're doing this is so we have a non-destructive workflow that we can come back tomorrow and adjust things. Or not flattening the image and destroying everything, which I do see from time to time on other tutorials. I don't recommend you do that. Anyway, with our new StarSpikes 2 layer created on top, all we've done is just duplicate the background. We're going to go back to Filter, Pro Digital Software, StarSpikes Pro. Then once our window comes up, we can go through and adjust it with our new settings in mind, whatever that you want that to be. In this case, I'm going to turn down the primary StarSpikes. I don't necessarily want it anymore. Then we'll go to the secondary tab, and this is where we're really going to affect the image. As I mentioned before, I recommend you put the intensity up to 100 so you can actually see what's being done to the photo. Then you can adjust the other sliders. And we have kind of just a nice star glow effect to the image. Maybe something like that. I realize it's overdone, but the whole point was to put the intensity to 100 so we can see what's being done. Then we can lower the intensity so it's much more subtle. We can also adjust the length of the star glow if it's a little bit too strong. And remember to look in the lower left to make sure that your progress bar is all the way finished. If it's halfway done, that means it's still running, and you might want to wait a second. See, that looks terrible. So we'll definitely lower the length of this quite a bit, if not put it all the way down. After we think we've got the secondary looking good, we can maybe zoom into the photo. That way we can get a better look of what's being done. And then we'll adjust the soft flare. Same thing here. Put the intensity all the way up so you can see what it's doing. Adjust the size from there. Maybe just a little bit of a star glow. Adjust the quantity. And then finally, once you have everything looking good, you can lower the intensity to a reasonable amount, whatever that is for you. Same thing with the ring flare option. Put the intensity all the way up. Adjust the quantity. And then adjust the size and everything else. If you're happy with that, lower the intensity. You get the idea. If everything looks good, we'll hit OK. And there's our new image. We have our before and after. Now, to be honest, normally I'd want to subtract the stars. You know, I don't want big bright stars attracting from the nebula, so I wouldn't necessarily do this. I just wanted to show you the technique. And now we have our StarSpikes 2 layer. If you want the StarSpikes 1 layer to come through, then what I would do in this case actually is drag it on top. You might notice that all the star glows disappeared because layer StarSpikes 1 is on top now, so that's the only one visible. Very simply, all you have to do is change the blending mode here from normal to lighten, and you'll now have the best of both worlds. We have the star spike pattern on top and the star glow on the bottom. And this is why I'm so adamant about creating different layers and not flattening the image, because now I have all this flexibility right here. And at any time, I can just say, you know what? I don't like the star spikes anymore. I can turn off that layer. Or maybe I don't like the star glow. I can turn that off. Or even just turn down the opacity so it's not as strong. So this is definitely the way you want to edit your photos. And that's all I've got for you in today's video. This was just meant as a general overview for the StarSpikes Pro software, which I just kind of found by accident today. And it turned out to be a fun little side project. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to get this, you can always get the free trial like I did. I'm still deciding if I'm going to buy it or not, but I am really liking it. And it looks like you can even buy it right through here. It'll probably bring you right to the website, or you can just buy it directly. Whatever you want to do. Right now, I'm just going to keep messing around with it. So that's all I've got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in another video.